Barack Obama, true to form, has rescinded President Bush's executive order to cut all funding to international organizations that support abortion and or forced sterilization policies. His reasoning is, I have no desire to continue the stale and fruitless debate. What a joke, and what a joker for making such a statement. How in fuck's sakes did he think by reenacting a policy that the majority of the Americans were against, he would end the debate? Now he gives a stale and fruitless explanation that undermined family planning in underdeveloped countries. I have to say that I find liberals laughably disingenuous when they make these statements. We all know where babies come from. Documents from antiquity tell us that Cleopatra knew the score, as she used such items as sunflower seeds and crocodile dung as contraceptives. So please, don't try and tell us that there's a race or a nation so naive that they don't know why they keep having children. As far back as recorded history, people understood the relationship between sexual intercourse and having children. How in this day and age of so-called science, liberals still proclaim that knowledge is the be-all, end-all to the ending of unwanted pregnancies is beyond me. The Kent-Caston Amendment specifies that we will deny funding to any programs, organizations that participate in a program of coercive abortion or involuntary sterilization as determined by the President. This was challenged by the Population Institute, but was upheld unanimously by the U.S. District Court of Appeals for the District of Columbia on August 12, 1986. The UNFPA is the UN's population control wing. If the name itself doesn't raise a red flag, you should probably watch another video, because this one will probably confuse or irritate the hell out of you. The UNFPA's work in China supports the Chinese family planning policy of coercive abortion and involuntary sterilization. This is the same policy that prompted the enactment of the Kent-Caston Amendment in the first place. This policy was in effect until 1993, until the Clinton administration resumed funding despite the UNFPA's support for China's coercive policies. As the Kent-Caston Amendment is left up to the discretion of the President, this has been a back and forth debate since the Reagan administration, but it has been clearly set upon party lines because clearly Republicans understand that coercive means against your will, and Democrats mean the liberals kind of are wishy-washy. They think that if it's important to control your population, you can do so by whatever means necessary. This harkens back to the Hitler administration's decision that Jews and gypsies and other people were unnecessary, and they were effective means of population control. Last year, Congress appropriated $40 million to the UNFPA, but the Bush administration had withheld it as they had since 2002. Here's a few quotes from our congressional leaders. Nancy Pelosi said, "This move by Obama will save lives." John Kerry said, "This is a very powerful signal to our neighbors that the U.S. is once and again back in the business of good public policy, and nothing blunts our ability to save lives." Population International, an advocacy group, said Obama's policy will prevent unwanted pregnancies and abortions. Once again, what the fuck? In a twisted way, I can almost see where they're going with the unwanted pregnancies. But abortions? How the fuck do you figure that? I would ask if they think we're that fucking stupid, but after a campaign of change, change, yes we can, change, yes we can, I think I already know the fucking answer. I saved this for last because I didn't want to send the Bush bastards into premature ejaculation. But the staunchest critics of the policy said that it discriminated against the world's poor because rural clinics treat AIDS patients. Well, for starters, Bush allocated more money for the treatment and prevention of AIDS in Africa, the hottest spot for AIDS on the planet, than any other president or country. How anybody could tie the treatment of AIDS to the funding for abortion and sterilization is beyond me. The rule merely prevented taxpayers from paying for something that they felt was morally wrong.